Cain and Abel story, exposing the hidden spiritual battle inside you. Long ago, in the early chapters of human history, we encounter two brothers, Cain and Abel. Their story is often told as the first murder, a simple tale of jealousy and violence. But beneath the surface lies a profound spiritual lesson about the forces that shape our own hearts. Let's journey deeper beyond the literal events to uncover what Cain and Abel truly represent and how their story resonates within us. According to Scripture, Abel tended flocks while Cain worked the soil. When they brought offerings to God, Abel's gift was accepted, Cain's was not. This sparked envy and anger in Cain, leading him to commit the unimaginable. He killed his own brother. But why? What deeper truth does this reveal? Was it merely a matter of jealousy, or does this story hold a mirror to the struggles we face within ourselves? Think of Cain and Abel as symbols of two currents within human consciousness. Abel represents the Christ consciousness, the part of us aligned with God's will, love, and oneness. He is the aspect that trusts life's flow, recognizes the divine source in all things, and naturally offers the best of himself without calculation or fear. Cain, however, symbolizes the Antichrist consciousness, the part of us that feels separate from God and others. It's a mindset rooted in pride, insecurity, jealousy, and scarcity. Instead of seeking oneness, it focuses on competing and comparing. Cain's reaction to rejection wasn't to self-correct, but to lash out against that which reminded him of his own shortcoming. This internal battle between Cain and Abel plays out in our hearts every day. The Christ consciousness embodied by Abel understands that everything comes from God, that we are all individualizations of the same source. In this state of mind, giving is natural, love is abundant, and growth is welcomed. We're not threatened by another's goodness because we know it doesn't diminish our own. The Antichrist consciousness typified by Cain sees life as a zero-sum game. If Abel's offering is accepted, Cain feels diminished. He cannot bear to look inward at his own lack of alignment, so he attempts to destroy that which exposes his limitation. When we are in this state, we resist growth, cling to our sense of superiority, and fear that others might outshine us. The tragic truth is that this mindset leads to isolation and suffering, cutting us off from the divine love that is always available. Why Abel was his offering accepted? It wasn't about favoritism on God's part. Abel's heart was pure, he gave freely, with no agenda. His state of consciousness aligned with divine love, and this resonance allowed the blessing to flow. Cain's offering, while perhaps materially sufficient, lacked that openness of heart. It was tainted by the inner turmoil of separation and doubt. In truth, God's acceptance is never withheld by whim. It is our consciousness that determines whether we are open to receiving grace. Abel represents willingness to learn, to grow, to become one with divine intent. Cain represents the ego's refusal to self-correct. This ancient story isn't just about two brothers who lived long ago. It's about the choices we face every day. Will we approach life with Abel's generosity, trust, and openness, aligning ourselves with Christ consciousness? Or will we let the Cain aspect dominate, falling prey to jealousy, comparison, and the illusion of separation? Every time we feel resentment because someone else's offering is appreciated, every time we criticize another's success instead of learning from it, we feed the Cain within us. Each time we celebrate another's growth, remain humble, and look honestly at ourselves, we nourish the Abel inside, growing closer to the Creator's heart. This is the hidden spiritual battle that unfolds within us, often without our conscious awareness. Overcoming the Antichrist consciousness isn't about punishment or condemnation, it's about transformation. We must recognize that God is always ready to guide us toward greater harmony if we are willing to let go of ego-driven perceptions. Abel's path invites us to embrace unity, to understand that another's success is not our failure but an opportunity to expand our capacity for love and creativity. When we stop seeing life as a competition and start seeing it as a collective journey back to oneness, we resurrect Abel's spirit within us. We learn to bring our best to the altar of life, not out of fear or pride, but out of genuine devotion. This shift in perspective is not easy, but it is profoundly liberating. It allows us to step into a flow of grace where giving and receiving are natural expressions of love. The Cain and Abel story reveals a battle we all face, the struggle between ego and spirit, between fear and love. It's easy to fall into the trap of Cain's mindset, especially in a world that often emphasizes competition and comparison. But the story calls us to rise above these tendencies. It challenges us to look within, to identify the seeds of jealousy or resentment, and to choose a path of healing instead. This isn't a one-time choice. It's a daily commitment to align with higher principles, to reject the lure of ego's voice, and to act from a place of humility and compassion. It's the kind of work that requires patience and self-awareness, but rewards us with a deeper connection to the divine and to each other. How do we nurture Abel's consciousness within us? Here are 3 simple practices. 1. Self-reflection. Spend time each day examining your thoughts and emotions. When jealousy or resentment arises, ask yourself why. What belief is fueling this reaction? Is it rooted in a fear of lack or separation? 2. Gratitude. Cultivate a habit of focusing on what you have rather than what you lack. Gratitude dissolves envy and reminds us of life's abundance. By giving thanks for the blessings in our lives, we align ourselves with the flow of divine love. 3. Celebrate others. Make a conscious effort to celebrate others' successes. By rejoicing in their blessings, you create space for your own growth and fulfillment. This practice not only heals relationships, but also deepens your connection to the divine. Each of these practices helps to dismantle Cain's hold on our hearts, replacing it with the grace and openness of Abel. They remind us that our worth is not determined by comparison, but by our unique relationship with the Creator. Cain and Abel's story endures because it speaks to something essential in human nature. The real tragedy isn't the spilled blood, it's the loss of trust, of unity, of the simple truth that we are all sparks of the same divine flame. When we lose sight of this truth, we fall into the traps of division and competition, forgetting the love that connects us all. May we learn from this story? May we recognize when Cain's voice stirs within us and choose instead to honor Abel's approach, one of openness, humility, and reverence for the one source. In doing so, we align with Christ's consciousness, step beyond the illusions of separation, and move closer to the God who dreams of our oneness. This journey is not just about individual transformation, it is about collective healing. As more of us choose Abel's path, we create a ripple effect that brings greater harmony and love to the world. The Cain and Abel story, though ancient, holds timeless wisdom for our modern lives. It invites us to reflect, to grow, and to remember the divine spark within us all. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.